And we're rolling with another episode of the Premier Planet Podcast. Justin Barlow, Rock and Randy coming at you.
Rolling with the homies.
Love that movie. I haven't seen that movie in forever, though.
That was actually a song.
Yeah, I know, but it was Clueless. Brittany Murphy, may she rest in peace.
Yeah,
I think she really made that famous.
So, my now 23-year-old kid was in town. So for about a month, I was living with now 18-year-old and 23-year-old. And of course, Clueless was on Netflix and it was on our TV from time to time. But I gotta admit, my man card shouldn't be in jeopardy over this. That was a good fucking movie.
No, it was.
Yeah.
It was a funny movie.
I had such a boner for Alicia Silverstone when she became of age. What a beautiful woman.
Mm-hmm. She still is. 40, however old she is, she's still gorgeous.
Yeah, I used to date a girl, the real love of my life, the one I should have married, who looked like her with dark hair. She had the same lips and eyes, and she was thicker, because you know how I am about thick.
He likes them a little plumpy and a dumpy.
Yeah, a little plumpy and a dumpy. just on the verge of dimples, but not full-blown dimples.
Yeah, nothing you can eat cereal out of.
Yes. So, man, why don't we go ahead and go over briefly what happened, but mostly where we are at for this Saturday.
Yeah. Well, a lot of stuff happened this last Saturday. Oh my God, I'm still getting over the size of that crowd. The first really big crowd.
You gotta stop selling that crowd so much. Like saying they're standing room only and shit. That's when the village is gonna come break my fucking balls.
Good point.
Remember I told you that a few years ago?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Thanks.
You need to remind. you gotta remind me of these things. You know how wrapped up I get in the shit. What's the word? Enthusiasm. I get wrapped up in the enthusiasm,
which is a good thing. But again, we're not set up, and this is so funny because you asked about the indie bullshit. We aren't set up as a fucking event center. We don't do wrestling events. We're a training school. That means that we're training these guys at all levels. And what we do is part of that training when they're ready is they have to be agented and perform and learn in front of a live crowd. And of course we tape. So we're considered a training facility and a production studio. Mm-hmm. So that being said, I hear all the bullshit from people that just couldn't grasp that if they wanted to. That's what we're about. If I wanted to be in a giant building, I would have got a giant building. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But old Rand knows what it's like. These guys think they're drawing when they push tickets to friends and family. And let's be honest, it's usually probably 180 people, but they'll say, we had 300, we sold it out. Well, the whole undercard has got to pre-sell tickets or buy said tickets themselves prior to the event. They'll never know what the fuck it's like, and there's people out there like, I forget the two guys, Daniel and Wes Potter from the Carolinas, from North Carolina. Those guys work their asses off refereeing and doing other things for independent wrestling down there, and every time I ran an event down there, I was so lucky to have met them and hooked up with them, because what great young men. Love to be a part of our shit because that's where they could fucking learn something, and they've been in the house on more than one event that drew over 3,000 fucking people. That's a thing of the past. Ask AEW. Mm-hmm. Now that I'm stepping down from my soapbox, would you go back to the bullshit from Saturday? Sorry.
Yeah, no. But, yeah, we...
Not bullshit, but bullshit.
Yeah. Not that bullshit, the other bullshit.
Yeah. But I don't mean it as like it's bullshit. I mean it's like it's...
It's stuff.
Good stuff, but,
Yeah. So we had...
Figure of speech.
Yeah. So we had... what do we have? We had a double championship main event. We had first Jose Acosta defending the world title against Tim Castle. That one was tied in the third fall, and then that one disintegrated into utter chaos when Nestra came to the ring and started wielding a baseball bat and swinging for the fences.
He took out everybody and 3 referees.
Yeah, I hope you're going to fine him for that.
Not finding shit, man. It's a work. Yeah. But what is going to happen is He's not just going to come in all entitled like an Antifa guy. He's going to have to earn that shit. Facts are, Inestra has not. If you go over the wins and losses when Jose Acosta, the current champion, and Inestra, a former champion, have faced each other in tag situations, I go ahead and want to say that gauntlet match. And when he finally did have his title shot, he's got more wins over Jose Acosta, making him a formidable threat. So I understand the frustration. But you're talking about a kid who is now in not the same space, but he's officially got a win over Jose, even though they were 1-1. So you want to get at the belt again? Earn that shit, Inestra. You got to face Tim Castle Saturday night.
Mm-hmm. And Tim was he was one fall away from winning the world title, so he's going to be looking to get right back into that picture, because I think around before all the stuff happened with Inestra, I think it was pretty well a gridlock match. It was anybody's match to take.
Great wrestling match to watch, And I think that's where the heat came from with the crowd, was because they were being treated to a fucking real wrestling match, like real depiction of professional wrestling. And here comes Inestra to fuck it up for everybody. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But in the same token, I don't think I've ever seen that guy so serious. Inestra, I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You?
No.
Yeah.
No, and earlier Inestra took on Ventura, who threw out the challenge.
Fucking good match too.
Yeah, seemed like the same old Inestra, but something snapped. Something broke.
Yep. And then other big news, so that's going to be this Saturday night. No more contendership. Tim Castle versus Inestra.
And winner gets Jose in the main, right?
Number one contenders, that's what that means, right?
Yep. But that title match is going to happen that same night, right?
No, it's going to happen the following week,
because
those guys are going to be going through a war.
Ah, okay.
So look at that shit. I'm not going to. That would be a totally unlevel playing field for Jose Acosta, and I don't think he wants it that way either. Whoever comes out the winner of Inestra and Tim Castle is going to fucking earn that shit. You know what I mean?
Okay. I'll have to change the event info then. But
yes,
but then we also
would be so kind.
Yeah. But then we also had a title change in the second main event.
That was fucking cool.
Not Bad Chad finally wins some gold. He eliminated both Matt Vine and DeMarcio Destroyer at the same time over the top rope to become the new Challenge Pro champion.
Chad has always been a fucking workhorse and a steady fucking Eddie. Okay, he's so underrated. He's so underrated by his pictures, but god damn it, what an athlete, what a great mind, and he took advantage of that shit last night when, again, that rivalry between DeMarcio Destroyer and Matt Vine, he took advantage, and it was smart and it worked out. You know what I mean? But this is only after one of the best triple threats I think Premier Pro Wrestling's had, and we're reinventing that shit.
Oh, truly. And I meant it when I posted on Facebook on late Saturday night. I almost literally passed out on commentary, just trying to call that. I think it was a mix of the sleep deprivation, the caffeine, and the adrenaline that did it. But
I get there.
Oh man,
it's hard to do. Like, I'm so glad on nights when Pancho's match is before intermission, or at least not before a title shot, because his shit makes me laugh so hard. I get like that. I have nothing left. You know what I mean?
And then speaking of Pancho, he took on Uncle Nate, walked out of the match. Uncle Nate won by countout, but then he ran. Then Pancho ran back in, decked him from behind, but that leads to this Saturday.
Okay, he left the building. He ran out the front door and took the count out, came in through the back. That's a good 150 yards fast. I mean, man, that motherfucker, if there was a time for the 150 instead of 100, I bet his ass would have been 12 seconds, because he was right there to take Uncle Nate's knee out and then give him the surf position and get the fuck out. So this week, the Say Uncle match.
Mm-hmm. That's going to be submission rules, but doesn't end on a tap out. It ends when you get your opponent to say Uncle.
Isn't that awesome?
And Pancho's been saying all week on his social media, he's not my uncle.
I love that shit.
So that's going to be interesting. Almost.
Pancho said that during the match, you know, and he kind of stepped in it.
Yep.
You know, he set himself up for this, and you know, Nate again, Uncle Nate. He may be not as experienced as Pancho in the ring, but he's working hard and he's catching up. He's got him in size, and boy, oh boy, does that mother effer have him in life experience. Did you know? And we'll get more information. I'll give this to you and let you get it because I'll fuck it up or not know how to write it or say it proper. Uncle Nate was on American Ninja Warrior, Justin.
Yeah, I think you touched on that last week.
But Touch, yeah, if you could get the deets, I think people would appreciate that because it's such a highly rated program. You know?
Could try.
And to his credit, he never used that to get over with us. You know what I mean? That's fucking great. That's humility, and again, that military service, that Marine background, and I know he's seen some shit. I don't dare go there with veterans unless they offer it up, Justin, because a lot of times I know some of the issues because I have them similar that come with that shit. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, man,
Yep.
I mean, that's going to be a good one, too.
And then we've got match number 3 in the best of 7 series, Matt Vine and DeMarcio, which after Saturday, they got in each other's face after Chad won the Challenge Pro Cup, blaming each other for that.
I don't think they were blaming each other. I never heard that vocally in the back, but I know...
I could be assuming.
No, I'm not saying you're wrong. But what I'm saying is they both stepped on each other's dicks and their own dicks. You know what I mean? So I think the initial frustration is definitely you. And then they step back for it. They might do something they might regret at this point. But again, it's a rivalry. It hasn't really boiled over yet, and I hope that it doesn't because there's been some great matches between them.
Yeah. Almost like Ralph Cramden when he wants to tell Alice off, but he can't quite bring himself to it.
Yeah.
He'll raise the finger, open his mouth, and then go, eh.
You know, worst case scenario with this one, yeah, there's no actual... It's like saying bang, zoom up to the moon, but Ralph never did it. Yeah. You know, I used to have a friend, kind of a consigliere, if you will. He would say, it's not okay to hit your wife, but it's okay to make her flinch. Isn't that awesome? I never did it, but I thought it was funny.
Yeah.
You know?
No offense to the ladies out there, but that is
and this was in the 90s.
Funny.
He said that shit in the 90s too, maybe the 80s. You know, just a joke. I mean, I never made the bitch flinch. You know. But anyway, yeah, that's where I think that one's at. But the worst things that come out of that one, well, the worst thing that could happen is one of them fucking loses their shit on the other one. But in the meantime, we're enjoying some great shit because every time they go out there, it hasn't been the same shit twice, you know.
Oh hell yeah! And you know they're more evenly matched than I think a lot of people suspected they would be. Yeah. Vine's definitely got the edge in experience.
Yeah.
But D is coming along. Not just his agility and that basketball background. I mean, the guy's got arguably, and I'm going to say from my own opinion, athlete, the best drop kick in Premier Pro Wrestling right now. In my own opinion.
When he really lands that thing and applies it, I think it's higher or better than anyone else's in the industry I've seen over the past few years that I'm aware of. And I don't watch a lot of wrestling nowadays. But goddamn, when he goes to the drop kick, the place erupts on a drop kick.
Yeah, and then there's the upper body development. He's really been working on his upper body strength.
Discipline. I think that's why Vine threw that idea out there in the first place, or that challenge, is because he sees somebody who is disciplined as he is.
Yep.
You know, so it's great shit. You know, so that's what we got on tap this Saturday night in Woodstock. That's what we're gonna have on tap on part Patreon and Pivot Share coming up. You know, again, if you miss any of that stuff, go to Pivot Share and subscribe. I guess I'm going to go ahead and say scroll down on Patreon because there's a lot of really cool shit on there too, and you know that stuff better than I would, about how they can watch things that they miss. I don't want you to feel like we're coming at you with, well, if you missed it, Tough Titties, the only place it's available, you know what I mean? I want us to be like, hey, it's not a big deal if you miss it. You know, sometimes if it's a pain in your ass to get out here, even if you can, if you're across the world, if it's just not easy, or if we're going to make it easier, you know, eventually all our shit is going to be on Patreon Live.
Yep.
You know, so you don't have to go through all that unless you want that experience. You know, you got to give people options today in 2020, you know. Then, of course, let's throw that Corona stuff in there, which I'm not going to go yay or nay on, but you can safely watch, you know, our content.
Yeah, as soon as you sign up on Patreon, if you sign up at the $3 or $5 level, you get everything from the library. Everything from the library. Nothing ever gets removed.
What's the difference between the 3 and 5 then?
The $3 get some of the they get select matches, and $5 get every match that we post.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Well, I'm glad you explained it to me because I'm confused as fuck. So that means that anybody out there that may be of diminished gray matter, I ain't fucking convicting to that, can get it too.
Yep. Yeah. One thing we have to figure out is the Patreon exclusive concept matches like the Olympiad Freestyle, the Iron Man. We got to sit down and go
Well, we
over.
have to figure it out.
We got to figure out which tier gets what of those. But we can. For right now, it's gaining traction. Wheels are on the road.
Tell me what you mean, because we need more traction.
Yeah, we need. Well,
what do you mean? $3?
We don't really have it set where only $5 patrons get to see the Iron Man matches, and $3 patrons get to see the Olympiads, but not the Iron Man matches. So we gotta grid that out.
Is it possible to make it available to $5 patrons quicker than the $3 patron?
To my knowledge, it's not, but it's worth researching.
If you don't mind, you know. That's one thing. Then let's think, what's another thing we could do there? $3, $5. So you pay $5, you get the same as $3 guy? What's the difference again?
No, you pay $5, you get everything. That's the podcast and every match that we post, plus whatever exclusive stuff we post. Yeah. And then $3 you get some of the matches, but you don't get all of them.
Okay.
And then for our Friday night tapings, $5 gets the whole taping, and $3 gets a couple of the matches.
So let's leave it at this. Let's just leave it at that. $5 gets the whole taping, the once a month Friday night. That's what makes it worth $5. Okay.
Yep.
So let's just do that.
Okay.
$3 can get access to the specialty matches. $5 gets the whole Friday night tapings that they're entitled to. How's that for now?
That works for me.
Cool. Simple?
Yeah, simple.
Then we got more stuff coming up. We're just trying to build up the traction on it, so there's going to be more tiers with T-shirt specials, discounts to Pivot Share, and discounts to live event attendance too.
Yeah, we're going to figure out how to do that. So you guys who are subscribed to Patreon, stay tuned.
Yeah, and stay tuned too. Is like I say, we are going to be doing all of our shit live on Patreon before too long.
Yeah.
That's going to be great.
Once we get the hookup with the internet and all that, I mean, we're going to be ready to roll.
Yep.
Might be a little shaky at first because we've never done it live, but I'm excited for it.
Yeah, but we always are intimidated by taking steps. And when you think about it, it's not going to be shaky because it's just going to be the same shit that we do now, man. We're just intimidated,
Yeah.
And again, remember this too, that I figure us to be in the beta stage until we get all the kinks worked out of Patreon.
Yep.
So that being said, being in the beta stage, we're doing pretty good on Patreon. I just kind of gotta find a way, and if you guys got suggestions, I want to get out there to people. A lot of people are just like you just said, man, you hit the nail on the head. They're afraid of something new when you couple it with technology. And a lot of people that are used to subscription are afraid of Patreon, intimidated by Patreon. So it's very simple, and it's probably, at the end of the day, and this ain't trying to sell the subscription short, but it's probably easier to use than subscription.
Yeah, because everything's right there.
Yeah.
I would actually like to figure out a way where we could maybe give people some kind of free trial for Patreon, but I don't know.
I don't like that.
If that
I don't like
platform.
That.
No,
it's not.
You don't think so?
No, I can't give everything away forever. I mean, if you look at us on YouTube, we've got almost 2,000 matches for free. And I can't keep giving away everything for free.
Fair point.
We're barely staying open as it is. And that's why we need Patreon, but we can't give away everything for free. So, sorry, that's not going to happen.
Fair point. So this Saturday we've got number one contenders match in Nestra and Tim Castle. We got the Say Uncle match, Uncle Nate and Poncho. And then best of 7, match number 3, Matt Vine and DeMarcio, Destroyer.
What about the tag team concept you don't give two shits about?
Fuck, I forgot the tag team
Thanks,
concept.
Chief. Thanks
Damn.
a pants load, Chet. Just
this
kidding.
Saturday we've got a new
kidding,
concept.
So don't get pissy with me.
I know. I'm not getting pissy. Do I sound pissy?
Everybody gets pissy with me, dog. Everybody. I can't believe it.
Yeah, but we've got the tag titles are going to be on the line
You know
this
what
Saturday.
I think it is? People getting pissy with me, and I'm sure a lot of people find this to be true. Tom Erdo, especially because you're my age. The way I say things, which why should I change at 55? I'm not an offensive guy. You know what I mean? I'm definitely not a mean-spirited guy. If you looked into my fucking heart and brain, I have a childlike fucking faith and hope in life, despite all the bullshit. But God damn it, everybody takes me wrong and minces my words. You know what I mean? So I guess it's just the times. But guess what? I'm not fucking changing. I have every right. You know, I have every right to be myself. You know?
Yeah, don't.
Especially I ain't hurt nobody. I don't hurt nobody. At the end of the day, every day, I do way more good than harm when I go to sleep. And if I fuck up, I fix it.
Mm-hmm. That's a rare quality.
Yeah.
Most people just try and run from it or pass the blame. But anyway, we've got a tag team rumble this Saturday night. Winners are going to go on to face the tag champs, but it's going to be it's going to be
fucking cool.
battle royal, but not everybody's going to be in the ring at the same time.
Nope.
Two teams are going to start it, and then every 2 minutes, another team is going to go in until we have a full field.
Exactly.
And then, remind me, eliminations are strictly over the top rope, or are we throwing pinfalls into that?
Nope, they're over the top rope, and the last 2 men standing will face the champions Chase Gosling and the American Ninja Warrior Sensei for the belts.
And is it when one member of a team is eliminated, both guys are gone, or are we doing a mix
If
and
one
match
guy's
deal?
eliminated, bye Felicia.
All right.
Remember the term tag team.
All right.
One guy can't face him for the titles.
Yep. So
I mean,
one-
it's happened in certain situations. Like, I remember once Anakin did it. Well, I didn't want to get into that, but you know what I mean. That was a special stip.
Yeah.
But no, at the end of the day, it's just like the rules should be. They're a team. One guy gets pinned, you lose. One guy gets eliminated, you lose. Bye, Felicia.
the last team standing is going to go on to face Chase and Sem that night, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, it could be a knockout, drag-out. Well, it probably will be a knockdown, drag-out war. But it's not going to be like if Tim Castle and Tim Castle and Inestra, one of them faces Jose. You got a partner, so the odds are a little better. It's not just going to be you. You also have other people depending on you that are not depending on you, but have a bearing on the outcome. So, you know, that's also going to be the challenge too, rather than having to go through a gauntlet, so to speak, or a tournament, because you're having that tournament fucking impromptu. You know what I mean?
Yep. And one of our favorite concepts, random drawing. Anybody at any time.
Yep, something new that we're going to perfect, find the better name for, and pimp the shit out of. So now that we've covered all that, what did I want to talk about this week? There's so much. One of these days, I want to go over some stuff about Terry Taylor, but I don't think today will be that day because it's going to be a long one and it's going to be emotional for me. What I would like to talk about, though, is experience. You know, I've told you before, I've told the patrons before, I've told my guys before, the greatest asset that we have in a world that is just totally saturated with media outlets for, well, especially World Wrestling Entertainment, and then some media outlets where they're tooting their own horns in regards to AEW, is the fact that what makes us different than the 10,000 other promotions out there, and the biggest and most valuable asset we have is my experience, where I've been, who I've known, the way I handle my business. You know, it was hitting me today because I actually heard from Mike Petrovich from AAW. He followed up with me about setting up a time when he's going to, All American Wrestling, AAW, which you guys probably, you have to, if you're a wrestling fan, you're listening to this online, you know who AAW is, you know. But anyway, he wants to get together and do that podcast with him as a guest, which I love that idea. I like Mike a lot. I've liked Mike since he was a kid. But anyway, he'll let us know, because like you said, we got to do that shit via Zoom, right?
Zoom or Skype or FaceTime somehow.
Oh, fuck. Okay, we'll figure that out. You know what? I'm just going to do the group so I don't fuck it up.
Okay, sounds good to me.
Because I don't know the difference. Now that I think about it, you told me fucking Skype, goddammit, and I thought it was Zoom.
Yeah,
but anyway,
we might have to do that one at Casa de Rand so that we have an internet connection, but we'll figure it out.
I love it when you do it at my house. Anyway, what I was going to talk about was experience, man. I was remembering some stuff from Memphis today, you know. I've had a lot of independent assholes from the area. It was funny. When this thing started, everybody and his mother's brother was hitting me up to work. You know? Fucking, it was obnoxious. People were obnoxious, you know? There are some people out there that are better manipulators than others, and that's what I'm going to say. There weren't a lot of people that actually handled their business, but I think that some of my street smart senses were dulled because I didn't start this thing owning it. I started this thing working as a consultant and spending someone else's money like it was my money. Somebody else that said, give everybody a chance, you know what I mean? Not everybody. I'm not talking about your slobs. You know what I mean? Right. But before long, when I realized that I had a good relationship with WWE still, and my name meant something up there, oh, every asshole and his mother's brother was coming out of the woodwork to wrestle. You know what I mean? Now, they're begging me to work, and this is where my senses were dulled. I just didn't see it coming. People, independent idiots, actually thought that I'm giving my friends opportunity at World Wrestling Entertainment. That's not how the fuck it works, and that's not how the fuck I work. Now, I fucked up. No, I'm not going to say I fucked up, but I did fuck up because some of the people I sent had no business being there in the first place. I just didn't know them well enough. You know what I mean? But I learned how to fuck up and say to WWE, I partially fucked up. That won't happen again. I'm learning as Canyon Cayman was learning, who came into that position of hiring talent from outside the industry. So he's got to learn the industry, and then he's got to learn the WWE climate. You know, that's cool. We've been able to grow together. In the process of that growing together, working together, going back and forth, which has been great for me, we got fucking Kalisto, his tryout, and then we got Kalisto hired. And we got Kalisto who's still there. That's fact. Now, that's a guy, I watched the situation and knew, I've known Ray for a long time. Are we bae? No. Do I get a fucking Christmas card from fucking Ray? No. But back in the day with WCW, right before they closed down, my company, North American Wrestling Federation, was slated, my paperwork was being processed to be a feeder for WCW, for Sean O'Hare, Jindrak, and countless others to learn the craft, running 3 days a week here, as long as they can make their tapings and pay-per-views for WCW, you see? At one point, Ming was my company's world champion, but Ming was at the same time WCW's hardcore champion. At one time, the Harris boys were tag team champions. At the same time, they were facing my tag team champs for their belts. See what I'm saying? So the relationship was fucking great. Check the facts. They're somewhere. During that time, one of the ideas I had was the luchadors. I didn't know the exact situation, but that stuff with the LWO, if you look back and read your facts, it's actually a motherfucking shoot. They were getting shit to come in from Mexico to do what they do because WCW could get away with it. Eddie found out what was going on and said, fuck that noise. You guys are worth more. You're worth the bare minimum starting contract as every fucking American is too. You know, so the LWO was a fucking shoot. That being said, when they were getting mistreated and in between that shit, I approached Ray at WCW and I said, I had this fucking tremendous idea since I've got this traction with WCW. What I would like to do is get a handful of the luchadors and put them on my TV and bring them to my towns and do USA versus Mexico, okay? Take American wrestlers and put them against luchadors, have them meet in the middle. There's no faces, there's no heel. Just like fucking soccer. You come out and support your fucking country. You know what I mean? The building in Racine, Memorial Hall, told me I didn't know what I was getting into and I'd have to have armed police there and shit, security. I don't think so, because the way we were going to do it. It wasn't going to be like bad guy, good guy bullshit, man. It was going to be competition, you know? So I said, but aside from that, these luchadors don't know what the fuck they mean to the internet fan. I want to merchandise them. I wanted to merchandise specifically Juventud, Psychosis, and La Parca. You know what I mean? The original. Fucking man, Ray loved that shit, and he loved my idea. And he said, amigo, if you could do that, you don't know the good that you'd be doing for these people, for these guys, okay? Dude, this is like fucking 2000? 1999? Whenever, I don't know.
That would have been right about that time.
Okay, that sounds about right then. And then he put me in touch with Hector Garza.
May he rest in peace.
Because Hector was the only one that was tie-in. The WCW never used that motherfucker right. Because
No.
I think a lot of reasons. Number one, Hector is all Mexican, but he looked like a fucking gringo. He's light skinned. And his English was fucking perfect. So they kept him around and did jobs and shit. They never really used that guy to his full potential, man. He was fucking outstanding. But a nice guy too, see? So they kept him around to be the liaison between the luchadors and the company. You know what I mean? Or the luchadors and the talent. He wasn't agenting, but he was speaking on their behalf. So I did talk to Hector. We were trying to put that shit together then, and that was a great idea I had, you know? Go out there on a merchandise thing and partner up on it. You know, I was going to take all the risk and then split the profits, just like we do with our talent, you know? So yeah, you know what? That's a great spilling. Pro Wrestling Tees, Pro Wrestling Tees, Pro Wrestling Tees. Premier Pro Wrestling and Pro Wrestling Tees. We got so many fucking designs, man. It's mind-blowing. Keep checking because we got new shit every week, you know? Now people are fucking backdooring Rand and going right to the shit. We got stuff posted. I go, when the fuck did we put that up? You know what I mean? So keep checking. But anyway, how in the fuck did we get on that with Ray?
You're talking about the LWO. You wanted to make Mexico versus U.S.
I find out that my name still means something with Vince. And I know where that comes from. That comes from the very simple thing of the way I took Triple H's fucking pedigree the first time it was on TV. You know? Nobody's taken any better since. It's not like I'm like, oh man, a job guy, blah, blah, blah. Fuck you, man. You pay me $250 to get a guy over and make him look good. That's my role for the night. That's what I do. Give me $250. I'll put any of you cocksuckers on the indies over. You know, right now. You know, but anyway, so you had these guys, and I guess I shouldn't say names, but they're swinging for my nuts. You know how I feel about nut swingers. There's always strings attached. If anybody acts man-crushy on me, there's always strings attached. One hand, they love me. Other hand, they hate me. So they come here, fat motherfuckers, you know, telling me they could get through the WWE drills. And everyone I said, okay, well, show up at our camp. We'll go through the NXT drills light. They never showed up, of course. Then as soon as I realized that they're not trained, that they're half trained, that they're the one-trick ponies that can only imitate shit that they've seen on video footage, they can only have one match, I don't want to use them no more. You know what I mean? Then I become racist, and I'm full of shit. I've never been anywhere or done any fucking thing. You know what I mean? How do you go from that one extreme to the fucking other?
Yeah.
You know? But anyway, it doesn't matter. I mean, I'm dealing with fucking... No, I'm not actually. I'm not dealing with fucking numbskulls. You know? Here is something that occurred to me that you motherfuckers, but a lot of people won't get. One of the coolest things about Memphis, it was so stressful, Justin, live television. Live television in 4 markets or 7 markets. You're on live. You cannot fuck up. If you fuck up, you're fired. If you fuck up, you're doing irrefutable damage to that fucking company, to the product. We're talking big time bullshit on the NBC and ABC affiliates right after the Smurfs, when Smurfs was the #1 Saturday fucking program in the country. Fucking Smurfs. Isn't that great?
Yeah, I remember.
So I was remembering, just here's a little sample of what I've learned, you know. I hated doing television, not so much because I hated doing television but I hated having to do that and then having to, I like doing television, I just didn't like the time. You know, like sometimes you have to get up at 4 a.m. in fucking Nashville, bro, and saddle the fuck up and drive 240 to drive another 240 back, you know? And if they weren't putting me over, which, you know, they weren't going to put me over because I'm the fucking young guy and shit on TV, I didn't like it. You know what I mean? But I do it, you know? Looking back, you know, fuck, it was a positive. I never bitched. I never let them know. I never complained. You know what I mean? But looking back, it was exposure because, you know, people would recognize me anywhere in the Mid-South in the weirdest places from television. You know what I mean? But I remember this. Here's what you got to do, and this is part of the learning shit. So, you're doing TV, and you're dealing with people that aren't really formally scripting TV, but your TV is somewhat scripted because you have this much time to get this much shit in. You know what I mean? And if you watch that old stuff, the trick to it was finishing that program on a certain note within your time frame and closing it up where you needed it to be for your business. That's how we drew, you know, the television. That's what we did. That's how we drew. That was our advertising tool. Our promotional tool was that motherfucking television of the utmost importance. If that TV blew, your gates blew. If your gates blew, you're out of business, you know. So I worked a lot with Rex King and Steve Dahl, referred to then as the Southern Rockers. Great fucking human beings. They're both fucking dead, you know? And they didn't die of drug shit. They died of health issues. And they didn't die of health issues from the hard road. They died of health issues. Genetic health issues or health issues that you accrue. Accrue! I haven't used that word in years. Good fucking people, but green as fuck. You know, I was green. They were green. They were getting the push, and they had so much pressure on them to be Marty and Sean, to be Robert and Ricky. But they slapped them together. They didn't have a lot of experience tagging. You know what I mean? They both had some personal issues going on at the time, and they're young guys, just like me. You know, I think Steve was older. I know Steve was older than us, more mature than me and Rex. But I'm working these guys with Big Lou Winston, and Lou Winston was a pretty much job guy for television, and he would do some house shows because he could work and he had a great look, you know, on the Memphis end of things. But after 10 years of this, they finally say to Big Lou, Kingfish says, I think we want to do something with you, you know. You with me there, Texty Texterson?
Yeah, I'm just making notes.
Oh, so anyway.
Looking for some good stuff for YouTube this week.
Big Lou and me faced the Southern Rockers on TV. That night, I got to be fucking somewhere. Lou doesn't. Lou gets to go home. You know what I mean? Because once that TV airs, then Lou comes out on the road to the other shots. You know what I mean? Once it airs up by Nashville and Louisville and Evansville, you know. So we go out there, we work the fucking match, and I knew Rex had some big fucking personal issues going on with him. He married a rat. He fell in love with a fucking rat, and it really fucked his life up. And Rex wasn't a fucking addict, but he was a fucking pothead, and he smoked reefer to self-medicate through the depression. You know what I mean? Somewhere in the match, Rex goes to give me a clothesline, and his fucking timing was fucked up, bro. And he socked me right in the fucking left eye.
Ooh.
And it hit hard. I heard a fucking crack when he hit me. And I felt an immediate warmth. Like, you know, you get, I don't know if you know what it's like, but sometimes when you bleed outside, you feel warmth.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you bleed inside your nose, you feel cold. Mm-hmm. This wasn't the nose, but it was by the fucking nose, and I felt that shit hot, like fucking motherfucking piping hot. Steam coming out my eye hot. Not really, but that's what it felt like, you know. So I'm like, oh my God, you know. So I get up, you know, from the bump, and I finish the match, and he's sorry. He knew he fucked up. I mean, he's like, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. I'm like, oh, motherfucker, you know what I mean? I want to fight back, but I know it's Rex. He's my friend. He didn't mean to do it. You know what I mean? And we going back, you know, and I'm like, oh, motherfucker. I'm walking crooked and shit, Justin. I mean, I'm fucked up. You know what I mean?
Equilibrium had to be off at that point, taking that kind of shot to the face.
Yeah, so adrenaline is going, I'm just starting unlacing my boots real fast. I want to get out of there and go sell the injury, but not in front of the fucking boys. I want to get out of there, you know. And I go to blow my nose, and a big fucking blood clot comes out only the left nostril. A clot. It looked like the size of egg yolk, you know. Really, man, it hurt, you know. But I'm still trying to get the fuck out so I can go sell this bitch in the parking lot because I don't want anybody to think I'm a fucking pussy, you know. All of a sudden, here comes Eddie Marlin. You guys got another fall to do. We got to make this 2 out of 3 falls because we got 10 more minutes of fucking television, Justin. My boots are fucking off. I've got 30 seconds, man. I just ran him through the eyes, tied the knot, said, Lou, can you do the fucking job on this one? I'm fucked up. No, man, I'm not going to fucking do the job because I'm going to get this push. I'm like, fuck me. Because we're working the tag champs, you know, it makes sense. We're not going to go over on the tag champs on TV. We're just having a match with the bitches, you know. So I got to go out there, dude, like that. And I fucking did the shit. I did the shit. That's an experience that these motherfuckers will never know or have. So don't tell me I don't have no fucking experience. I didn't bitch. I did the fucking job. Then I got out of that fucking building and sold my fucking ass off. You know? I sold my ass off when I was running with Ronnie P. Gossett. Ronnie P. Gossett was probably the most renowned queen in the sport of pro wrestling, in the history of the pro wrestling. Talked a lot of shit. Does not anywhere near have the, you know what, I'm not going to say his name. A lot of unproven shit. Nothing's been proven against Ronnie. At the end of the day, me and Jerry Lawler once were talking about Ronnie right before Ronnie died. So, you know, at the end of the day, I bet that motherfucker was asexual and that shit was all work to fuck with us because that's the type of guy that he was. He just loved to make you uncomfortable. You know what I mean? They talk about the girls and the rats, and Ronnie would say, ooh, I just love the penis I had last night. And we'd be like, oh, shut up, Ron. Well, fuck you. If you guys can get in here pussy this and pussy that, well, hell, guess what, boys? That's what penis is. Pussy on a stick. And everybody be like, you know what I mean? That's Ronnie, you know.
Oh my God.
You know, isn't that great? No, there's Ronnie Gossett, man. Fucking funny guy. I don't think he ever violated nobody. I think it was all bullshit.
No, probably not.
Yeah.
Usually predators, they're not going to be that forward with their humor or with their opinions.
Ronnie just loved to get a reaction, man. And as that, you can see what a great manager he was. He actually was with Jeff when Jeff first went to WWE, but he fucked it up. He was in the first vignette when Double J, what was it? J, double R, double T. Ronnie was there. He looks like a fucking white buffalo. Oh, yeah? Short, fat cocksucker, giant head. I think it was Rhodey, Ronnie P, and Jeff. And Ronnie fucked it up somehow, but that's what Ronnie does. He could get pissy about anything. So me and Ronnie are riding back, and Ronnie knows I'm fucked up. He knows I'm hurt. You know, I sold that shit on my own, and I got in the car, and I didn't say dick. You know what I mean? I didn't say dick about it. Like, Ron, I'd rather just be quiet for now. Well, fuck, Ronnie P's like me. You can't be fucking quiet. He's probably worse than me. So finally I go, look, you motherfucker. I finally start talking to Jackson. At the Jackson mile mark around 40 on the way back to Nashville, and I say, what the fuck, motherfucker? I pull my glass off. My eye is fucking. So when I finish blowing my nose and a blood clot egg yolk comes out, a little more comes out, my eye go like this. Closed. Eyes closed. And I'm thinking to myself, man, if the fucking office sees this, I'm fucking fired. You know? So I had the blade sunglasses on. I'm trying not to sell, and I'm trying to put it in perspective. What I'm gonna do, you know what I mean? Ron's fucking with me. He's trying to help, but he ain't fucking helping. He's making it worse, you know? So finally I fucking say, fuck you, Ron. And then Ron goes this, that, and the other goes, let me see your eye. And I saw his face. He sells it like, oh shit. You know what I mean? And he goes, that's nothing. And they call me the faggot. And I went, you motherfucker, you know? So I hear Ron was a tough guy. And I seen him throw some, one time these truckers fucked with us when we were stopped for a fried bologna sandwich. I want to say it was the 282 exit. And Ronnie threw them fuckers around. They didn't fight him. They wouldn't fight him. 2 guys and Ronnie and me. And Ronnie threw them around like they were fucking nothing, you know? But Ronnie had a grip, like a Vulcan grip. He was short, but he could palm your head and pick you up. You know what I mean? Practically. Fucking, anyway. Like, if you could deal with his bullshit, he would rub out all your injuries, man. If you could deal with this, ooh, your skin is soft. He would do that to fuck with you. Man, cut it out, Ron. Get to the knot. You know what I mean? The nerve bundle. Stop it. You're not getting no penis, Ron, So, but you know what I mean? It was just part of the thing. You had to deal with that. Well, I'm not rubbing your back for nothing. You know what I mean? He didn't want the penis. He just wanted your fucking asshole to pucker and you to be scared. He wanted your penis, So, I get out of the car, motherfucker. I pull over, fucking open his door. He goes, get back in this car, you idiot. No, he called you an idiot. Not an idiot, an idiot. He was so soft. Get back in this car, you idiot. And I go, no, motherfucker, I can't take it no more. Get out of the car, you big fat bitch. Get back in this car before I am forced to come out there. And, wait, give me a second. And get back in this car. What do you call when you beat a guy with that fucking foil sword? Thrash. Get back in this vehicle before I am forced to get out of this car and thrash you. And I go, fuck you. Bam! I punch him right in the ear. He goes, ow, my ear! I go, why did you do that? You hit me in my ear! You know what I mean? And then I start seeing the anger well, and I go, shit, I might have just fucked up. The rest of the boys are going to drive by, and this 5'10", 400-pound, allegedly gay guy is going to be beating my fucking ass right out here at Highway 40. You know what I mean? I'm like, God damn it, and my eye hurts already, So, Ronnie chose not to, man. He calmed down, and then he calms me down. He goes, get back in this car. I know you're hurt. I just don't want you to give in to the pain. Now get back in this car, and we'll stop off at Perkins and buy you your favorite breakfast. You know what I mean? So what I had to do there for 2 weeks literally was wear those blades all the time. Get to the building, not go to the locker room until it was time to work. When it's time to work, get the fuck out until the swelling went down. I would leave my blades ringside so I could put them on after I left just in case Eddie or the office saw the eye. Now, I had some nurses, like my thing to answer to everything is ice it. Well, we had a nurse friend who looked at it, and then she got her doctor friend to come look at it, and he started playing with it. And he said, well, you fucked up. You should have come to the hospital right away, because what happened is you fractured your something or other sinus bone. The worst thing you should be doing is ice. It's a fucking, I can't believe you didn't fucking hemorrhage and die. You should be putting heat on this injury. You know what I mean? But I ran the roads. I worked every night. The TV's all the bullshit. I finished that TV live because I had to suck it up. Who the fuck do you know in this area that can do that?
Nobody I know.
So at the end of the day, it wasn't that fucking hard. I'm used to that shit. Like, it's always been this kind of thing. When you talk about tough guys, I've never really tooted my own horn. But I'm a pretty tough guy, and the reason I am a tough guy is because of the way I was raised. My grandmother told me stories I didn't even know about when we finally compared notes when I was about 16, 17, where they would leave, I was a baby in the high chair, and they would leave the room, and all of a sudden they hear a big fucking thud, and my ass was laying back in the high chair at the table crying. And it happened on more than one occasion where my grandmother figured out my father was fucking backhanding me before I could even talk. You know what I mean? I'm 3 years old, and that's when you start to get your memories. I remember running from my old man over something, and the motherfucker smacked me in the back of the head, and I went sailing, and I remember, just like it was yesterday, going right into the corner, bang, my nose and then the blood. You know what I mean? I got they used to call it jokingly, but I get a daily beating. But you get used to the physical pain. What you don't get used to is the emotional pain. That's what fucked me up. You know what I mean? So that wasn't that hard for me, but I would love to hear that kind of shit from one of these assholes that's my naysayer. You know what I mean? Fucking think about that shit, man. You gotta get your happy ass up at 4:30 in the morning and drive 240 miles to Memphis. You've got to be there an hour early. You've got to do what you're supposed to do on TV. You go home when you get your signals to go home, live. You got to motherfucking talk, you better not fuck up. You can't fucking trip on your words. You know what I mean? Nobody handed us no script. This is where you're at. And if you suck, you're shit canned. You know what I mean? If the houses ain't up next week over this shit, you're fired. You know? So that's where I learned that stuff, was by watching that, because when I would go there, everybody else was hungover except for a couple of the old guys. But the old guys were in a different spot because they were booking or booking committee even when they weren't officially booking committee. You know what I mean? But everybody else is fucking hungover or strung out or both, you know? I used to get there early, and it was funny because the way our constitutions work, there was a 2-seater shitter at the studio. And me and fucking Rex for 9 months every Saturday shit at the same time. You know what I mean? And that's where we would make buddies, because we couldn't talk at the towns. We'd only work together and talk in the ring while we were working, you know? And he's fucking he smoked like a motherfucker. You know what I mean? To self-medicate over the depression and bullshit that was happening from the woman that he married, which was a rat. You know what I mean? That fucked his whole life up. You know what I mean? So I was straight. I watched everything. I talked to everybody. I asked questions. You know what I mean? I asked questions. I asked the right questions. I asked the questions at the right time. I asked the questions from the right people as to get a response. You know what I mean? That's something that you don't have today. You're not going to garner that today. And that's the kind of shit that comes with this company. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, you see me all the time. I mean, when I was working at TNA and I was the production manager, the funniest part of my job, but actually probably the most important part of my job, which wasn't even in my job description, they told me impromptu, my ass is the liaison between Spike TV, i.e. Viacom, and Universal Studios, which is fucking ginormous, and TNA Wrestling. Dixie Carter, Andy Barton, Jeff Jarrett were not always supposed to be at the meetings between the three. And guess who the only motherfucker that showed up for those meetings were? Me! You know? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm sitting there with Steve Montrell, the swinging his dick of swinging his dicks at Universal Studios in Orlando, Florida, and Scott Fishman, the swinging his dick at Spike TV, which is now Paramount TV. That guy must be good because he's been there a long motherfucking time as the head HINC, okay? Putting absolute fucking miracles together. They would say, that it would start out pissed off. I knew they weren't going to come. Where are they? Bullshit. I'm like, relax. What's the issues? They tell me the issues. I fix the issues. They look at me like I was just blowing smoke up their ass. They look like battered wives. They've been told them some shit before. Now, at the time, reading the writing on the wall, that was part of the reading the writing on the wall. Who doesn't show up for that kind of fucking meeting?
Yeah.
Who doesn't show up? And the people, the fans didn't know. That did not put them in good light. Their relationships were shaky with their fucking TV deal and the goddamn studio. Two of the largest production, I mean, they're so powerful, Viacom and goddamn Universal. And you don't show up for the meeting? You send some fucking buddy like me? You know? Well, I'll be goddamned. Every time that meeting would happen, which I want to say was quarterly or monthly, I would get the emails all the time of the proof from Scott Fishman or Steve Montrell that would say, I can't believe I've been trying to get this done for 2 years, and you got this shit done in a week. Thank you. And they send me the proof. And then they forward it to Andy Barton and fucking Dixie. But that only made me worse off. You know what I mean?
Because now you were outshining them.
Yeah. So, you know, they asked me, where do you... so then you see me here. They would always put people with me, and they were doing some amazingly huge things down there, taping. I'm not going to say this is one of the amazingly huge, but it was pretty huge. It's that franchise of Bring It On. You know? Well, they were shooting Bring It On 3 studios from me. I mean, they were always taping something bigger than that, but that was a big deal. You know, the shit did great. It was a hit movie, even the third one. You know what I mean? So I would get real people in there that worked on real production and some of your biggest movies because they were part of the Universal family. They'd send them in just to watch on their behalf to make sure we were cool. So I would have to do so fucking much. I had one that was a real swinging dick, and I can't remember what she worked on, but one of the biggest movies of all time. Probably then a 50-year-old woman, kind of hot. But you got to control yourself. I
Yeah.
can't be like fucking, hey, how you doing? In that scenario, she's there for fucking Universal, the company, you know? She pulls me aside and says, you are the best fucking stage manager I've ever seen. Do you know what a stage manager is? No. Do you know how much money you can make if you weren't working here, if you work for us as a stage manager? You let me know if you ever want to fucking be a stage manager. I'm like, why are you saying that shit? Because I've never seen anybody do all the shit you just did in a taping. And I never seen such a clusterfuck and somebody make sense of such a clusterfuck. You know what I mean? Well, guess who forgot her fucking name and shit?
Of course.
But point I'm trying to make is you see me do it all the time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Light goes out. Air conditioner's not working. There's fucking not paper towels in the fucking bathroom. Fucking, you know what I mean? I do all that shit while we're doing what we did.
Yep.
You know? And that's something you're not going to get anywhere else. We run, and Mike Petrovich said it today, you know? This was the cool thing about Mike. Do you know why Mike reached out today? To ask me how I was doing because he heard of some bullshit with some indie fucking tards that he would never book. Okay? So I heard there's been some shit. You cool? I go, yeah, I'm cool. I got a little heated and all that shit, but I'm taking the high road. I'm back to normal. I'm just unfollowing people and focusing on what I do. Last thing I need is a distraction. And this is why I like Mike. Okay? Mike says, yeah, isn't it amazing how people hate us because we run our shit like a business?
Mm-hmm.
You know?
And not some personal pet project.
Or my ego.
Yeah.
Or Mike's ego. I don't think Mike's ever appeared on AAW TV.
Not that
You know what I mean?
Not that I've seen in the limited amount I've watched it.
You know, and that's what it's about. You know, before you spend your hard-earned money, your hard-earned time, your hard-earned energy, you know, think about it. You know, we used to, when I started this thing, fuck, I better not get into it. But anyway, just think about that. If your fucking top guy is over 40 years old and these assholes are still putting him over, You know what I mean? I just want to say that a venue owner said to me one time, I never met this guy before on a show where one of the area talents I was talking about, or area non-talents I was talking about, said to me, I says, what's wrong? How you doing? He goes, tonight doesn't draw so good. He's a Greek. And I go, why do you think that? He goes, what do you mean? Why the fuck do I think that is? Because this guy, he never lose. He'd never lose the match. So people don't come because they know he's never going to lose. That's why nobody come. You know? Well, that's the last time they ran wrestling there. You know what I mean? Even this guy, I'm not a wrestling fan. I don't give a fuck. I just a fucking Friday night. I don't do good Friday night. I figure fucking do some wrestling. First one did okay. You know, enough to keep the doors open and shit. Pay my people. Tonight, fucking lost my ass. Give the free building. What the fuck's wrong with me? You know? But the guy, he's never going to lose. Who believed the old guy going to beat everybody?
Yep.
You know what I mean? I just was like, oh my God, you hit the nail on the head, George. You know what I
Yep.
mean?
Yeah, if your owner or your booker or whoever it is the biggest picture on the flyer and is always in the main event, you got a problem.
Exactly, man.
Because it's not, they're not doing it for the fans. They're not doing it for their so-called students or their half-training anywhere. They're doing it for them.
Ego, self-serving. I have always done, I will always do until I'm done with this shit, what I think is best for the for the fan, for the customer. You know?
Mm-hmm.
That's what it's about. That's how I came into the shit. That's what I was trained to do. Being a mark for yourself has not worked since Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels were over for Vince. It just won't work. They don't need you. And neither does Japan. Japan will whoop your fucking ass if you act like a punk over there.
Yeah. And take this away, too. Someone with experience is not at the mercy of someone with an opinion.
Huh. Pretty good. Now, how long we into this thing?
Going on about an hour.
So you got to go soon anyway?
Yeah, maybe about 10 odd minutes.
Let me just wrap this up and then I will stop. And I don't know if this will fall on deaf ears or ever get back to these people. I hope that it does. I'm not going to mention names because I don't want to humiliate nobody. It's very hard for me not to want to do harm to fucking assholes. At the end of the day, I hate thieves, liars, cheats, and whores. Fucking hate them with a passion. That doesn't mean I won't forgive them if someone comes hat in hand. I've fucked up more than most. You know, but I own my shit. That's my parents. You know what I mean? But anyway, there's two people in particular that used to come here that have a brainwash that they're not even aware of. if they could, those two people, and I think about them because they're not bad people. They're not stupid people.
Just misguided.
Yeah, I think once you, like I said before, I mean, even people with money, i.e. the Carters, Ted Turner, if they get emotionally involved in wrestling, man, it fucking all common sense is out the fucking window. You know what I mean? Bob Carter's got to be one smart motherfucker. He is the last, or was the last, independently owned power company in the fucking United States of America. Panda Energy was. I don't know anymore. You know what I mean? They were one of the first ones to turn cow shit into power. I don't know how that went, but, you know, whatever. So, that being, cow shit into power, isn't that great? That being said, if you could only hear what the people you're so loyal to really think about you, really have said about you. It made me sick, and I don't even know you. But I see it in your fucking faces here. I don't know how many times I seen you spend your money. I seen you laugh here. I seen you yell here. I seen you cry here. I appreciate you. You know what I mean? I appreciate that you came. If you never come again. Human beings should not be treated that way, and you're being fucking worked like you wouldn't believe. You know, and that's just not the way I do business. That's not the way I've ever done business. How many people have you seen me with where I could have taken full advantage of situations in a financial front?
More than I can count.
And did I do it?
No.
You know what I mean? I didn't do it because I can't live with that shit. And eventually, it's got a short motherfucking life, man. It's got a short life. It's not going to work out. God will cut you down. I don't think God cuts me down, but he sure lets me fucking fail. You know?
Well, it says right in the book, he who humbles himself shall be exalted, he who exalts himself shall be humbled.
You asshole, can you send that to me?
Yeah, I have to, I'll have to jump on I'll have to jump on Google, see what verse it actually is.
Or if you even, okay, that's cool. Yeah, let me know when you, I mean, at your convenience. Don't like fucking miss anything. But
if I don't get it to you in a couple days, remind me.
I like that word exalt. You know, because that's what I feel like. But these people aren't exalting themselves, dude. They're still taking advantage of you. And they are. They're taking advantage of you. And what bothers me is they take advantage of you, and then you badmouth me, you know? You badmouth these guys. You badmouth my baby, this company, Premier Pro Wrestling, when you don't have all the information, you know?
Yep.
I will guarantee you that everybody here that you were connected to, but not as connected to the people that you were, have never said the things about you that the people that you're so loyal to now have said about you in the past. One more thing and I'll shut up. We got time for one more point?
Yeah, go for it.
So, I hate it, but I'm not going to go into names either on this one. I saw a post, a random post by an acquaintance who's a friend on Facebook, you know, and they said, how come, and it's a younger person, Justin, probably younger than you. You know, at some point people start dying the older you get, but sadly with this motherfucking hair on, more people die, and you young people got to deal with death and grief before you're supposed to, before I did probably, you know. I've seen some shit, but not like the heroin deaths, you know. So, somebody died and I was right in the thick of the shit, you know what I mean? And I had to give a eulogy, you know. And I'm watching these people act like they sainted this motherfucker, acting like they were his best fucking friend, dude. I'm not talking for a fucking funeral. I'm talking for months after. The bullshit social media posts. This guy was my best friend when he died. I knew everything about him, you know? Because if you're my best friend, that's what happens. We get to know each other. Practically lived in my fucking house, you know? Him and Gianna watched more TV together during that year than me and Gianna. We watched a lot of TV together because the motherfucker was over all the time. You know what I mean? Anyway, they asked, why do that people act like they were their best friend? If they only knew what this guy really thought of them and their actions when he was alive, you know? And it's kind of like the same thing here. You know what I mean? It's very sad. You know, my friend, you know, this fucking broad, I didn't even want to talk about it. It's fucking make your skin crawl how gross and sick it is. But then they go and they fucking snow job the kids' parents with the same bullshit. Jesus. You know, and I don't have the heart to tell nobody nothing. So I just gave my eulogy and prayed like a motherfucker for their souls too. You know what I mean? I'm sorry you're in pain and all that shit, but don't do that. You know? Don't do that. Don't fuck people over and then try to make up for after when they're fucking dead. It's too late.
Yep.
You know, you can be exalted if you're truly humble, but I think when you're coming out of the woodwork like that and you had every opportunity to fucking fix it and you didn't, I don't think you're going to be exalted, and it's kind of like this shit too. You know, there's dirtbags and there's non-dirtbags. And other than us, the only area promotion I think is not dirtbags is Mike Petrovich and AAW. I'm done.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to having Mike on, so hopefully we can make that happen sometime soon.
You'll like Mike, man. You'll like him.
But I think we'll, I'm going to have to get rolling here, so I think we'll take it home for this week. Talked about a lot of good stuff. I got some good notes, stuff that I think will be compelling for YouTube for our free preview, and then, of course, this for the patrons.
Good.
So this Saturday, don't forget, we've got the tag titles on the line. Contender's going to be crowned in a tag team rumble.
Yep.
Then we've got match number 3 of the best of 7, Matt Vine and DeMarcio, Destroyer. Then we've got the Say Uncle match, Poncho and Uncle Nate.
That's going to be fun.
And Poncho's been saying all week he's not his uncle, but we'll see.
Fuck your Poncho.
And then number 1 contendership, Tim Castle and Inestra.
That's intensity in 10 cities. And I just want to say one last thing in closing. I wanted to ask you a question. This is on behalf of my father. You know, bless my father. Justin, how did the fisherman and the mermaid meet?
Online. I only know that because you posted it on Facebook. We'll talk to you guys next time.
Later.